This is my first post on my first blog. I am 47, marooned in Brooklyn, without a job, wife, or children. Most of my big dreams have crashed and burned like the Hindenburg, but that hasn't stopped me from climbing the next bag of hot air and heading back into the sky.
As soon as I decided to write this blog, everybody started freaking out. Even my 10-year-old, Trevor. Are you gonna write bad things about me? If I do something wrong, are you gonna put it in your blog?
I just don't understand. I hereby commit to walking or cycling in Brooklyn's Prospect Park for every day for a year, with as few exceptions as humanly possible, and then telling you at least one cool thing I encountered. I
thought it would be fascinating to record all the murders that occur in the city's 3 dailies. These aren't all the murders that occur. They're just the ones that are considered newsworthy by New York editors. I call it the murder book. All the New York City murders fit to print.
When I moved here from Vancouver, Canada in 1988, friends warned me about the dangers of living in New York and shook their heads with dark foreboding. And now the city has turned into a Disneyland, and it seems our neighborhood is one of the few ones left in New York's history. That's just one thing that I love about Bed-Stuy.
Have you noticed in the blogosphere that whenever a long-term resident in the neighborhood refers to having an attachment or history in the hood, people are very dismissive?
You don't earn the neighborhood. It is just as much my neighborhood as it is yours.
The second thing that I love about Bed-Stuy is being an outsider in a community that's racially and culturally so different. You know, it's like living in another country. Of course, for me, it really is.
If you want to talk about attachment to a neighborhood or a land's history, I'm sure Native Americans would have a much stronger point than you.
3 more things I love about Bed-Stuy. We talk to our neighbors and know each other's names. The laundromat has a current selection of bootleg DVDs. And, and the light. No high-rise is blocking the sky.
Who are the people in your neighborhood? In your neighborhood? In your neighborhood?
Their names are Robert, Will, and Franklin. They cause our church and our neighbors a great deal of trouble. People keep asking why we don't get rid of them. They piss on our building, leave food and garbage around, and play their radio at great volume. Today, again, I cleaned up their garbage. But I will not remove their sleeping bags. That's a moral line I will not cross. They are human beings, images of God, and they need to be treated with respect. Robert, Will, and Franklin. They have names. They have souls. They belong to our community. They tell us something about ourselves.
This blog has been a source of strength and joy, a place where I've been able to write about my life and the testicular cancer that I was diagnosed with 6 months ago. Blogging about my experiences meant opening up to my friends and my family and some strangers about my thoughts and my fears. I've been blessed with such an incredible generosity and kindness from everyone, even people I've never met. You know, but in these past few weeks, I've been haunted by the sense that as much as people are there for you, you're the only one who lives through your own life. The old adage suggests that you walk a mile in another man's shoes, not that you walk a mile in his feet. That's true in sickness and in health.
I live and cook in this disheveled apartment with a smart car-sized kitchen, but the friendliness of my Carroll Gardens neighborhood makes up for it. A few weeks ago, a neighbor and I were vying for the same parking space. Unlike me, he didn't have to move his car until the next day, so I let him have it. In New York terms, that's very generous. As thanks, he offered me eggs from the chickens that he and his wife keep in his backyard. It doesn't get more local than this, so I gratefully accepted. Who says New Yorkers aren't friendly?
pretty dumb now that I think about it. The canal was filthy. One time my friends and I sailed a makeshift raft up to the Hamilton Avenue drawbridge. Each stroke of our paddles drew up such an awful smell that we figured it really wasn't worth the adventure and gave up. When I was really young, my father told me that the canal was once a dry trench where mules used to pull coal and other materials. The mule team driver would crack his whip as the animals struggled with their heavy load. He'd yell, "Go on!"